Rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beautiful a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful.
Hello, welcome to our third MLB podcast, the AL East predictions, the second best division in all of baseball, in my opinion. Um, the most competitive for sure. Welcome,
Yep.
Mr. Bragg.
Let's go, man. We got
A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of good teams. 5
a
good
lot
teams,
of
I
good
would argue.
teams, I would say. So, yeah, we got 5 good squads. A lot of turnover, I would say, in the division, as is always, because there's a ton of big markets in the AL East.
Yes, ton of big markets. Red Sox, Yankees, best rivalry in baseball. You got the Orioles on the come up. Got the Blue Jays, who are slowly becoming a good Yankee rivalry. Not that they haven't kind of been, but just saying they've just had some. Vladdy said stuff to the Yankees, and the Yankees are just the Yankees. I mean, they're just them guys. So, um, yep, a lot of stuff to talk about. The projections here may surprise some. The Orioles surprised some last year, going over 500. So, congrats, Baltimore. You had a good season, first time in since like
And we're not even
2012.
mentioning Tampa Bay, who was just in the World Series a few years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago, Tampa Bay was in the World
So,
Series. Actually went there last year. Pretty boring ballpark if I have to.
you're not
Be
feeling
honest. That's
Tropicana?
not. I mean, it just didn't feel like a baseball game, if you know what I mean.
I feel
But
it.
we will get underway. Um, and the first team up, I'm guessing. Well, you go ahead and tell us.
First team coming in at 76.5, none other than the Baltimore Orioles.
The Baltimore Orioles, 76.5. Last year, the Orioles finished with a 83-79 record. So this kind of feels, but all they're saying is they just think last year was like a once in
Which
a blue moon.
I think it was a bit fluky, but I mean, I could say you could argue you had a down year from Cedric Mullins. You could argue Ryan Mountcastle outperformed, but they have a lot of young guys still who still have ways to work, like Adley finally getting called up and having his moments, showing that he's capable of being that number one pick that he was.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just worried
if you saw, go ahead.
about. I'm just worried about the rotation. Really, I'm really worried about the pitching.
For good reason. For good reason. Let's just go over their transactions. The Orioles in the off season, they picked up Michael Givens, good relief pitcher. Adam
Oh,
Frazier on
wait,
a 1 year
they
contract.
didn't already have him?
Michael Givens, he's been bouncing around. He got traded like 2 years ago from
I
them,
was
and
gonna
now he's
say, it
back.
sounds like he's been on Baltimore before, but go ahead.
Nomar Mazara got picked up by him, and Tyler Nevin. They've just kind of well, actually, they traded in Tyler Nevin. Excuse me, but on to the 2023, they traded the Royals for Ryan O'Hearn. Um, I mean they sent him down, so it doesn't really matter. But Austin Voth or Voth to a 1 year contract, and didn't really do anything else. Kyle Gibson, I didn't see that, but I know they got Kyle Gibson as a starter. He's their opening day starter.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
did we get any better? No. If last year was a fluke, how much does it affect us? Um, how much does it, you know, what are we going to see out of them this year? Because in a tough conference last year, I'm not conference, excuse me, division last year. Think about basketball. Um, in a tough division last year, they played very well. So I mean, they played less games in the division. Can they get better? We'll see. Their projected lineup Cedric Mullins, Adley Rutschman at the 2, Gunnar Henderson at 3. How you doing, big boy? Anthony Santander, Ryan Mountcastle, Kyle Stowers. Let's get him out of there. Get somebody else. Austin Hayes, Adam Frazier, and Jorge Mateo.
But
I like it. I really
you
don't hate
like?
that. I don't hate it for a team.
I don't know.
For a
Man.
team that's on the rise, I love that line.
It has a lot of
But
potential to do good, but also a lot to do bad.
I'm drinking the Orioles Kool-Aid, dude. I don't think they're as bad as we think they have been in the past, and I don't think they finish in 5th place. But Kyle Gibson is leading off the rotation. They traded for Cole Irvin. I didn't mention that from
Yeah,
the A's.
that was in the
Yep.
A's. Yeah.
Kyle Bradish, Dean Kramer, and Grayson Rodriguez, number 1 prospect. So, but they do get John Means back sometime this year. He tore his, or he had Tommy John last year. I don't know exactly when he comes back, or I think he comes back, but I could be wrong.
I think he should.
I think he should. I mean, Walker Buehler's going to be out for another year, so I mean, he may not. It's just all according to that guy, but I haven't read anything on it. So the Orioles 76.5. You said?
Yep.
Wow, it's crazy that the lowest team in the division is at 76.5.
Yeah, that is.
But Orioles. With the, I think they go over, dude. I really do. But not by much. I think they go 80 and 82. At 5th place in the division, they go 80 and 8, or 4th place. I'll tell you what my final thing is. I ain't really looked into the Red Sox. I think the Orioles will finish above them, but I'll tell you again in a minute.
I've got
But 80 and 82.
I'm gonna have them going under. I don't know.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, dude.
I'm a bit worried about Baltimore. They don't have much of a winning culture. I feel like they do get the advantage of not having to play New York, Tampa Bay, Toronto, multiple or more than they were, which is
they're
cool.
I mean they're getting 28 less games against them guys. So
true. I feel like it'll probably even out slightly. I'm still gonna go under. I'll give them 74.
74 and
88.
88. Yeah, 74 and 88. On to the 4th team in the division, according to the projections,
we have
is the Boston Red Sox.
Yep, 78.
Little bit of
for Boston.
78.5. Little bit of a weird vibe going on in Boston right now. A team that was, in my opinion, watching that 2018 team that won the World Series and how good they were, I feel like that was one of the better teams of all time just because of how good that lineup was. But then they just trade all them guys, and then last year just kind of takes a tumble like out of nowhere. Finished 5th place behind the Orioles. They finished 78 and 84 last year. Huge letdown. And they did sign some guys I'm about to talk about. So, I mean, maybe they get better, but I don't know that they get much better. But we will talk about it right now. Who did they lose? Well, they lost Xander Bogaerts.
Huge.
They lost Nathan Eovaldi. They lost Rich Hill. They lost JD Martinez. They lost Michael Wacha. They lost Matt Strom. And they lost Tommy Pham.
How much did Tommy Pham play for them?
A lot.
A lot? Okay.
He got traded to him at the deadline, but he played the whole second half with them.
Okay.
They lost.
I don't remember hearing much of Tommy Pham, at least in Boston.
News coming in. Chris Sale just fell off the toilet. He's hurt again. Sorry, was that too far?
Come on, bro.
Sorry.
We love Chris Sale.
We love him, but Yu Chang. Get Yu Chang on the roster, baby. No, I don't. They said they did not, but they did sign Joely Rodriguez from the Mets. They signed Kenley Jansen, 2 years. They They designated Jeter Downs for an assignment. They did sign the big Japan product, Masataka Yoshida. Tough, great pickup there. Um, they got Nico Goodrum. They did release.
Mm,
So they lost Eric Hosmer as well. Pick up at the deadline. Um, they did re-sign Rafael Devers to a 10-year contract
huge deal.
extension.
Crazy.
Huge deal.
But good for him. He
Uh,
deserves it.
Very much so. Very much so. One of the better players in the game. Justin Turner, they signed a 1-year deal with him. A lot of stuff going on here. A lot of stuff. Corey Kluber is their opening day starter. I'll talk about that in a minute, but he did get picked up by the Red Sox. They did pick up Christian Arroyo, Ryan Brazier, Reese McGuire, Nick Pivetta, and Alex Verdugo. They just kind of like extended them a year.
Resign.
Connor
Good.
Siebold was traded for. I thought he. They got Adalberto Mondesi, our guy.
Mhm.
Our guy.
I do like him.
We do like him. One of the best battle royale MLB The Show players of all time. He's
If
up there.
only it could translate to, he has moments, he has runs, but I feel like
He's hurt all the time.
injuries.
If he wasn't hurt all the time, he'd be
injuries
great.
kill him, and he can't just get a rhythm. He can't stay healthy.
Right.
So maybe that'll change, but
the lineup, you may ask. This
Go
lineup is not very good, in my opinion. At the 1, Tristan Casas. He's a top prospect, first baseman. He's going to take Bobby Dahlbeck's spot. Rafael Devers at the 2, Justin Turner, DH, and Masataka Yoshida in the 4. Love him. Alex Verdugo, Enrique Hernandez, Kike, Adam Duvall in the 7. They did pick up. I forgot to mention that. They did pick
That's
up
a
Adam
big one.
Duvall. What?
that's JD Martinez.
That is.
Part 2.
I think he's at this point he may be better than JD Martinez.
Maybe slightly.
Reese McGuire and Christian Arroyo. The starting staff. What? Go ahead.
I was gonna just touch on it. It's a decent lineup. Is it better than Baltimore? Probably not.
I don't think so
Go
either.
ahead.
Wait till I tell you this rotation. Corey Kluber at the 1, somehow. Chris Sale at the 2. Tanner Hook. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I think
A
it's
lot of
just,
names. A lot of
Cook.
names in this thing. What a name by this guy. Cutter Crawford. What a pitching name, dude. Nick Pivetta. Staff's not terrible. Do I
Staff
see them
is
winning
better
more
than
than 80
Baltimore,
games?
slightly to me.
I'm going under.
Yeah, I gotta go under too.
Here's why. I'll tell you why. I have a good explanation. Because the vibes are so much different in Baltimore and Boston.
That's true. Baltimore, I feel like, is a team. They took a lot of improvement
They're
from last
excited.
year. Yeah, they
They're
want to play
excited.
baseball. Boston's coming on a down. No momentum. I gotta go under here. I'll give them 72. 72.
So you in last place too?
Yeah, I do. Slightly.
I'm going 74 and 88.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 72 and 90.
All right. Red Sox don't look too exciting to this year. Maybe Duvall can have a year for you, but I got a feeling he's gonna get traded back to my Braves at the deadline. I hope. But anyways, on to the 3rd place team. Who is it? Run us down through the 3rd place team right now, and I gotta go shut my door.
So we got Tampa Bay at 89.5 wins. Just before we get into like the transactions, Tampa Bay, I feel like it's kind of a sleeper. I feel like of all the teams in the AL East, Tampa Bay has kind of been the one team that is just kind of like, speaking of them, Tyler Glasnow, is that you?
I'm actually I was G-Man Choi, but we got to get rid of him.
My fault. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's still tough on my heart. But go ahead. So they're 89.5, you said?
Correct.
Holy smokes. That
Too
feels
high.
so high, dude. That feels so high. But I gotta look over them first. So what did they do? I didn't even know half of these guys were there. They announced that Cole Calhoun, Charlie Culberson, Martin Perez, and Matt Moore and Kevin Plawecki all entered free agency. I didn't even know any of those guys were with the Rays. But
Is this from this year?
this is from last season.
Martin Perez. I could have swore we were talking about him on the Rangers. Maybe I'm tripping. But for what I'll try and pull up, what Tampa Bay has done so far. We have okay. They picked
Sorry,
up.
little technical difficulties. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to go through the transactions, but go ahead.
Keyshawn Askew was traded to the Rays. He played at Clemson. That's the only reason I know that name. Zach Eflin, 3-year contract. What are we doing? What are we doing? Not good enough for a 3-year contract, in my opinion. On to the 2023 side of free agency. They signed Heath Hembry. They signed Jeffrey Springs. They extended him to a 4-year contract. I like that.
I do too.
They extended Pete Fairbanks. Love it. They
Like that.
extended Yandy Diaz. Love it. They signed Charlie Culberson to a minor league. And they agreed with Ben Gamel. And that's really it. The Rays.
Okay,
Not
what
that
was their
exciting of an
record?
offseason. Their record last year was 86 and 76. That's why I said this feels
So they are saying they got better. The Rays got better by 3 wins.
in a way, they did. I mean, I'm not just from this, but Wander Franco didn't play hardly any last year, so he's
True.
back. Let's run through the lineup. I don't like
Go
this
ahead.
lineup. I'll
Yeah,
just
go
go ahead and
ahead.
tell you: Yandy Diaz, Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena, Brandon Lau, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Isaac Paredes, Christian Bethencourt, and Jose Siri.
I like it actually. I think it's pretty good.
Here's the thing about the Rays. They know how to do everything right. They're not flashy. Nobody likes them. Like, nobody's just, oh, I hope the Rays win, but they're going to be there in the end. Especially with this rotation. If Glasnow can get healthy, he's still a little banged up, but he's not in this because he's banged up. But if he can get healthy, this rotation is tough. Shane McClanahan, Cy Young contender. Drew Rasmussen was amazing last year. Zach Eflin, don't love it, but if you can replace that with Glasnow, I love it. Jeffrey Springs, big lefty at the back of that rotation, and Yanni Chirinos. I don't hate it. Add Glasnow to
I
that
like
mix.
it a lot. Wow.
Love it. The Rays, I just can't go over 89.5 wins with that squad. It's a good squad. They make the playoffs probably. We'll talk about it on our playoff predictor stuff, but I'm going to have to go with the exact same record as last year, 86 and 76.
Okay, I'm gonna give them 80. I'll give them 88. 88. So slightly
88.
under. Yeah.
I like it a lot. So the Rays, third place for me. Next up,
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay, yeah. Blue Jays, what's their over win total?
90.5.
90 on the dot.
So just one ahead of Tampa Bay.
Gotcha. who who I'm trying to do this the best way, but I say since these two teams are neck and neck in my opinion, and instead of announcing our records, I think we go over both squads, and then at the end we'll who we have first and second because it's kind of
Are you talking about
underwhelming if we
New York and Toronto?
yes
Okay.
to me to me
Well, I
I'll say
mean,
that.
the win totals don't really like they say Toronto is closer to Tampa Bay than New York.
What's the Yankees?
94.5.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Blue Jays off season. Let's add some depth. Um, what did we do? Jackie Bradley, we lost Jackie Bradley. Got Anthony Bass, Eric Swanson for Teoscar Hernandez, and Adam
Mm.
Mako. They did get rid of Teoscar. They will be losing him. They signed Kevin Kiermaier, great defensive player. They agreed to terms with Chris Bassett, 3-year deal. That's a big pickup.
Mm. That's a big one.
Um, Dalton Varsho, they got him from Arizona in a trade for Lourdes. They got rid of Lourdes Gurriel and Gabriel Moreno.
Mm.
Um, I like it. I like it a lot. I love Varsho. Great player to me. Um, they agreed. They extended. With the one. How they do arbitration. They extended most of the players on the squad. Um, they extended Bo Bichette to 3 years. You gotta love that. And then Luke Bard. They reassigned Zach Britton, so I'm guessing he's on the squad, and Ernie Clement. So, here's what I see in Toronto. Toronto brought up all their guys, all their top guys, and they got to a point last year and the year before last where they were like, we're we're very good, but with these guys, we're not as good as we want to be. Like, we're giving up on Teoscar. We're giving up on Lourdes Gurriel because here they're not as good as we want them to be. They're not as good in this lineup. They don't fit us as well as we hoped. Um,
Mm.
did they make them into the players that they are? Do I think they could both have great seasons where they went? Yes. But I love what the Blue Jays are doing because they're kind of just washing it out, restart, but not restart all the way. You're keeping your good, like you're keeping Bichette, keep Guerrero, but we're kind of like reassessing the outfield, and I like that
I
because I
think they
felt
went a
like they were
lot
just kind of
more.
stuck.
They got a lot more defensive, and you bring a guy
Yes,
like Varsho in. I think with the way their careers going
and he can play
between him
catcher.
and Gurriel, I was gonna say, um, I like it. I think they won that trade. As far as the Teoscar, I mean, it's fine.
Swanson's a great relief pitcher.
Yeah, it's fine. I think the lineup was already very good, so you don't have to, they had a million guys who weren't seeing the playing time. Like Gurriel was like having days where he wouldn't play much or
Well,
what, go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. I was about to say
It's just
something.
like I feel like you're willing to take that hit.
I think it's more of, hey, we're not going to want to pay you. Let's get something
That
out of
too,
you.
because they're not going to be able to pay him
Right.
with the
Because you're gonna
guys they
have to
have.
play. You're gonna have to pay Vladdy 12-year contract, 350 million in like a year or two. So
Right.
I could see that deal happening soon. You got to get some pitching. Let's go over the lineup. I really like this squad. George Springer, the guy, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Who'd they bring in? I forgot to mention. DH Brandon Belt, good lefty bat that lineup needs. Alejandro Kirk, great season last year from the rookie. Did you know he's only 24 years old?
I feel like he was like 27.
Me too. He only struck out 56 times last year. That's ridiculous.
Impressive.
Dalton Varsho, sorry. Matt Chapman. Let's have a bounce back year, B-Dog. Whit Merrifield. Kevin Kiermaier.
Mm,
Kevin,
forgot
that
about they
lineup,
had Whit
man.
Merrifield. I forgot they had Whit. That's huge.
Me too. Let's go over to start. Their lineup's great. If they're in second place, can they start? rotation be that good? I don't know. You tell me. Alek Manoah, Kevin Gosman, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, Yusei Kikuchi. I'm
That
loving this squad.
that hey Kikuchi, if he can be
Half of what he
4,
was in
I was gonna say
Seattle.
give him like a 3.8 to 4 ERA. He's solid. 'Cause
Last year he had a
that first four,
4.2, and with that lineup, I love a 4.2.
that first 4 is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Mm.
Man,
Mm.
I'm loving that
I
squad.
like it. I do like it a lot because they have decent depth too with it. And now they strengthened the bullpen. Do they still have Ken Giles?
I will go. Let me look at the bullpen.
If they still have Ken Giles, you got Eric Swanson. That's 2.
Woo, buddy. This bullpen. Not to mention high engine reuse in the minor leagues because he's
Oh,
rehabbing.
God about him too. He had a crazy year not too long ago.
Anyway, let me go over your bullpen. Zach Pop, 3.9 last year. Tim Mazza, 3.6 last year. Adam Simber, get funky with it. Anthony Bass, Nate Pearson, Chad Green, Eric Swanson, Yimi Garcia, Jordan Romano.
They got some guys.
Dude,
If they can stay healthy, this team
they
is
stay
really
healthy.
good.
If this team stays healthy, I think
And
what
what
was
was the record last year?
record last year was 92-7. I
They
think what
they
happened
got
is
worse. I mean, I can see why they think that.
I don't think they got worse, but they after I think after that playoff loss with the errors, they were not having that no more. They reassessed the team. I love the team. Let's go over to Yankees before we make predictions.
Okay. Yankees we got at 94.5. So go ahead.
94.5.
So 4 above.
Okay. 4 above the Blue Jays. Dang. So how do we do in the offseason? Yankees. We get LeMahieu back. He was banged up last year. They did lose Andrew Benintendi. They get Luis Severino back. He's been off and on. They lost Benintendi. They lost Britton. They lost Matt Carpenter. They lost Miguel Castro, Roldis Chapman, Marwin Gonzalez, Chad Green, and Jameson Tyone. I think Jameson Tyone. Anyway, re-signed Anthony Rizzo. Re-signed Connor Falefa and Lou Trevino.
Mm-hmm.
And biggest deal of the offseason, Aaron Judge. Pay the judge, baby. Pay the judge.
All right.
9-year contract. 360? Is that what it was?
I believe so.
After that, they got to be done, right?
I mean, they can't have that much money, but wait, it is New York, so they can do.
Oh
whatever
wait,
they
give
want.
me Carlos Rodon on a 6-year deal.
I do remember. Yeah, I saw they had. But is he hurt?
He is banged up, but he will be back. What else did they do? They re-sign Glaber, re-sign Nestor. This is all just arbitration stuff. And that's about it. But let's go over the lineup before we
Let's do it.
project our thoughts. Glaber Torres, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, Josh Donaldson, Oswaldo Cabrera. Darren was asking who that was last night. Aaron Hicks, Jose Trevino, and Oswald Peraza. Still to be determined their shortstop situation. They've got 2 top prospects in Anthony Volpe and Oswald Peraza. And then they have the guy no one in New York likes, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Darren's favorite player. And anyway, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how the shortstop play turns out. Let's go over their starting. I like the lineup, of course. They're going to bang in that stadium anyway.
Right.
Starting rotation. How we doing? Garrett Cole, Luis Severino, Domingo Germán, Clark Schmidt, and Nestor Cortez. You trade out Clark Schmidt or Domingo Germán for for Carlos
Man,
Rodon at some point.
true.
So the rotation gets better. How's the bullpen looking? The bullpen's looking like Lou Trevino, Greg Wassert, Tommy Canley, Ron Marinaccio. He was good last year. Wandy Peralta, Jonathan Loazica, Michael King, and Clay Holmes.
Solid.
Very solid bullpen. Probably the best bullpen in the division.
It is better than Toronto for sure.
So, with that
Mm,
being said, last year they did finish with 99 wins. Everybody thought they were going to break the win record for a while, but then they just kind of tailed off. But they did make it to the ALCS and lose to the Astros last year. Um, Yankees are my second favorite team, and that is something no one says because everybody hates the Yankees, and I don't think it's warranted. I guess because they won 27 championships, that's probably why. But
yeah, you gotta hate the greats, of course.
I don't trust the Yankees right now. Too many injuries going on, too much stuff happening, just not enough for me. So, with that being said, coming in at 98 wins and winning the division, give me the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays,
Bro got the
AL
Yankees
East
jersey on us.
2023 champs. I'm respect to the Yankees. Had to wear the pinstripes, but I'm sorry, Yankees. I mean, you're not winning the division. You're not beating that Blue Jays team. You're not better. They're not better. I mean, in all honesty, that lineup's not better. The starting rotation's not better. The bullpen is. That's it.
I think here's what I'll say. I think the lineup is to me, I think the Yankees lineup is ever so slightly better. But like obviously on any given night, the Blue Jays could score 15 runs because it's the Blue Jays. But I feel like same
15.
with the Yankees. Here's what I'm sorry, that was a bit crazy. Like 10. I mean, we've seen them do it, but like when it comes to the rotation, I feel way more comfortable, way more consistency with Toronto. The bullpen is not that much better than Toronto's in my opinion. And I don't think the lineup is that much better either. So and like we were counting on Aaron Judge to hit 60 homers.
He had to hit 62 for them to limp not necessarily limp into the
62.
playoffs, but finish it out last year.
What are the odds Aaron Judge hits those 60 home runs again? Come on, bro. It's not happening.
Exactly.
He could get 45, 50. And Yankee
So what's
Stadium.
their record?
I'm gonna give
What's the
them.
Blue Jays record?
I'm gonna go. Toronto. Give me 90, 95. So 95 and what?
67. And then the Yankees?
I'm gonna go. New York. Give me 90 on a dot.
1972. I went 95 and 67 for the Yankees. I think this is a close race all the way to the end, but the Blue Jays take it over. Man, I'm excited for this division.
Maybe I'm a little. I guess I'm a little low on the AL East from looking at it. I don't know. I feel like they're a little. I don't know. I just don't really trust the AL East for some reason. I know they're great though, but
my hope is neither of these teams win it. My hope is the Baltimore Orioles win it. But with that being said, I don't think they can do that yet. But I'm big on the Blue Jays, man. This made me even more excited about the Blue Jays. I love the Blue Jays right now. I love this lineup. I love this squad overall. I'd argue they're the best team in the AL. I'd argue that. I think I had the Astros with a better record. Nope, I actually had the Astros with the same record.
oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, I would argue they're better than the Astros. I think all around, but I think Houston has that winning edge in the playoff matchup. They would probably take them down, but they have that experience. But I'm excited for the AL East. I know it's fun to watch. I like having my MLB app to watch all their games, or not all their games, but when the Braves aren't playing, I'll turn it on. Watch the Yankees, watch the Blue Jays. Um, as long as I want the Yankees to stay healthy. I want to see what they can do with Carlos Rodon. I just can't see them staying healthy. They haven't done it for the past few years, and they haven't looked like they could do it lately. So the spring training's been terrible on them, um, injury wise. And I just think the Blue Jays are better. I just honestly think the Blue Jays are a better team. And I've said that over and over again because I do like the Blue Jays. I mean, they're my favorite team in that division right now. So any closing remarks as far as the AL East goes? He is
Um,
speechless. I'm joking. Um,
um, I think this is where we see the passing of the torch to Toronto, and I think we see Toronto become a dynasty for the next
Dynasty,
few years. I don't know. I'll
like
give
the
them a few
'90s with Joe Carter,
years. Would you consider that a dynasty?
made it to the world. They won back to back or played back to back. I don't know if they won.
Oh, well, yeah, it's something similar to that. I don't see this as a World Series caliber team yet. I see this as a ALCS.
I agree. I could see them playing the them and the Orioles going toe to toe for a while. I think the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees are always going to be around because they have the money to go. They're never going to be in a rebuild, just like the Dodgers. They're never going to be in a rebuild. They'll have a good farm system, but they're never going to just be 65 and 100. Like they're just not. I'm at 62 and 100. They're never going to be that bad. They're the Yankees. Um, but with that being said, I'm excited to see this division, and that's all I got for the AL East. Anything you want to say closing out?
Um, nah, I think
Who's your team you're about to say go for?
we go Red Sox.
Ah, go
Real
Orioles.
time.
Go Orioles.